Hey guys, welcome back, I am Miro and today I want to show you how to give your videos and photos very cinematic look. Have you ever wondered why old movies look so good, even when the filmmakers didn't use computers for color grading? Of course, one part of the answer is that they have a very well prepared scene with great lighting, but another factor is they used old analog films, and old analog films bring certain magic to the colors. As you may know, I am a Fujifilm user, and being a Fujifilm user means that you must love old film emulations, because Fujifilm also provides their camera with old emulations. And today I want to introduce you Dehancer. Dehancer is a plugin for softwares like Davinci Resolve, Adobe Premiere, Adobe After Effects or Final Cut Pro, and in this video I want to show you how to use it to achieve perfect film look in just a few minutes. Dehancer offers a wide range of film profiles, and just a few days ago Dehancer 7 Pro was released and introduces some new tools and brings even better workflow. So let's dive into it. So here we are. Let's start with this video I made in Paris last year using my Fujifilm X-T4 camera in f-log mode. As I mentioned earlier, great lighting is a crucial part of creating visually appealing videos. However, achieving that can be challenging when shooting travel videos or similar content. This is where modern technology comes in handy. It helps you balance your video first. As stated in the Dehancer manual, to better understand the workflow integration principles, treat Dehancer as a virtual film on which you are shooting an already prepared and properly lit scene. This will make it easier to understand why all basic corrections and masks should be applied before applying Dehancer. So your node tree should look like this. Start with the color balance node, which I already applied to this footage. You can see I applied some curves, some saturation, some contrast, shadows. Then if needed you can make local corrections and masks, but they are not necessary for this video, so we can skip it. And if you are using color space transform, it's optional, but I like to use it. You should use it now. After these steps you will have something like a prepared and properly lit scene. And now we are ready to use Dehancer in the final step. So let's add another node. Dehancer. Okay. When you open Dehancer, it will already apply a profile and enable the film grain. Personally, I prefer to set up the film grain myself, as I find the default option to have too much grain for my taste, so let's turn off the film grain for now and turn it on later. The first part of Dehancer is the input settings. Since we have already transformed the video to Rec 709, we simply set the source as Rec 709. However, if you haven't used color space transform, you can choose your camera, Fujifilm, and you can apply profile for this camera, but I personally prefer using of color space transform. You can also adjust exposure, temperature and tint compensation, which is very useful. And also the fringe can help remove chromatic aberration, which could interfere with the halation effect. But in this footage we don't have any chromatic aberration, so we don't need to use it now. Now let's move on to the main part, and it's film. I really love the variety of film profiles available. As a Fujifilm user, let's use Fujicolor 100, yeah, it's here, because it's the closest to my favorite classic negative simulation, which I love from Fujifilm cameras. However, since I shoot videos in log mode, I really miss being able to apply this emulation in post-production as I can with photos, but thanks to Dehancer, this is now possible. You can also adjust the push and pull of exposure, since different films react differently to varying exposures. For the best result, experiment and find what works best for your footage. Now I like this. Now let's move on to the print film. This is my favorite part, because this is where the magic happens. Optical printing is the only analog solution that can be used for a proper interpretation of negative films. So let's choose some print film. For example, Kodak. Look at that. This is awesome. Maybe Fujifilm's works better for me on this footage. You can also make some adjustments. We can lower the exposure for better contrast. Wow. And also white balance a bit. Okay, this works fine for me now. Look at what we achieved in just a few steps. This is only film and print film applied. But now let's go back to the film sections, and I can show you the different looks you can achieve here. With print film you can try push and pull, which works better now. I still prefer minus though. I like, for example, Cine Still. It's also very nice. Wow. Okay, let's stay back in our Fujifilm 100. That works best for this video. Some films look better with certain footage, while others work better with different footage. For the best result, avoid combining more films in one project to maintain consistency. Choose the film that works best with the majority of the footage in your video and adjust them individually for the optimal result. Now let's move to other important effects for achieving a film look. We have film grain, halation and bloom. The Dehancer 7 provides tool profiles for all these effects, and it's something like presets for 8mm, 16mm, 35mm and 65mm cameras. So let's try it. Okay, enable. This looks very nice. And you can adjust them in custom settings, which greatly speeds up the workflow. I personally prefer less size and amount. So this is with film grain and without film grain. Personally, I would also appreciate an impact slider for the profile, but for now you can adjust it after opening in custom settings. Another important part of the analog look that you may not have noticed yet is halation. It creates a halo, you can see it here, around the highlighted parts, just like the old films. If you push it too far, it looks weird. But when you don't push it too far, it looks very, very nice. This is with and this is without. It slightly enhances. It enhances these lights, as you can see. Another important effect is bloom. Bloom and halation typically coexist in films and mutually influence each other. Look how it enhances the appearance of the lights. We can again use custom settings and a bit less impact. Now I like it. And we can also set up vignette. Vignette is just another handy addition that improves every picture, and it's very easy to set up here. Okay, very nice. Okay, maybe I would add some exposure. But I really like the final result. This is before and this is after. Remember not to overdo the effects. It's the combination of various subtle adjustments that make the final image great. You can even lower the total impact. It's here. If you feel that you applied too much, you can go maybe to 80% and it works very well for me. Look now, before, after. Okay, and now let's move on to a completely different video. This footage was shot in a very dark area, so I had to pull the shadows a lot. As you can see, the shadows are plus 34 and this is the curve. Consequently, I also had to apply some noise reduction in Davinci Resolve. Pretty hard settings. If you need to do noise reduction, the best practice is to do it in the first note. Then you can cache this note as playback can become slow otherwise. Let's go to Dehancer. In this case I use the Cinestill 800T film profile, which I really like for night shots. A push around 1.4 work best for me here. But you can try, you can experiment what works for you. Another very useful effect I didn't mention in the previous footage is film compression. This feature allows you to fine-tune the redistribution of highlights and it works very well. Look at how many details I can get from this footage. You can also play with white point, tonal range. Okay, I think it works now. And by the way, here you can see the effect of halation, these nice highlights. And this is effect of bloom. And this is the video before and after. It really impresses me, it's so easy to achieve this look, wow. So that's it. I hope you like Dehancer as much as I do. It's a very useful tool and it can save you time and you can achieve great results very fast. If you like it, you can download it from Dehancer.com website. Dehancer Pro is the full package with all the effects, but you can also buy Dehancer Lite, which includes all the film profiles and important effects, but excludes the print film feature that I personally love. Alternatively, you can purchase all the effects individually. And if you use my code MIRO10, you will receive a 10% discount. And as I mentioned earlier, Dehancer is also good for editing photos, because Dehancer provides plugins for Photoshop, Lightroom and Capture One. However, what's really interesting is that you can also use the Dehancer mobile app for iOS to add a vintage vibe to your photos and videos within minutes. I highly recommend this app. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want more content about editing photos or videos, let me know in the comments below, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.